All right, welcome back. This is episode 2 of Behind the Beat with Will Jordan. Today, we're going to be going over an R&B track. This one in particular just started off with a sound that I found that I really liked, and it kind of felt like a lullaby, or it had like a dreamy sound to it. So after coming up with this line, I spent at least an hour trying to find the right bass sound, which is also another sound from Diva. And then after that, I wanted to add some more color to it. So I looked through the vocal sounds and found this really cool haunted choir pad that I think matched really well with that dreamy e-piano sound. After that, I went and found like a really cool sounding low-end bass sound to kind of add to that bass line conversation and that back and forth, and just to put emphasis on certain parts. To me, this sounded like a good foundation for the first half of a verse, and so I felt like I needed to move on to the pre-hook. So in the last episode, I spoke a little bit about trying not to force ideas or do too much. One of the most valuable lessons as a producer I learned was from another producer by the name of JC out of Tacoma that would tell me about like not forcing ideas and just adding stuff for the sake of adding it, but instead adding ideas that spark ideas for songwriters and leaving space and having more of a conversation between the different sounds, or coming up with melodies that the songwriters can follow along with. Just as long as you don't get lazy and end up just playing sounds for the sake of playing sounds so that the beat feels like it's done. So at this point, I felt like I had enough for the pre-hook and it was time to move on to the chorus. So the verse was a lot more dreamy and kind of had like a longing feel to it. And I wanted the chorus to answer that feeling. I wanted the chorus to have more hope to it. In my mind, I picture the pre-hook as like almost like walking up the hill and walking up the mountain, and then the chorus is reaching that peak and then coming back down. So for the chorus, I'm back to that dreamy e-piano sound, and then I layer it with this guitar sound that I really liked. I'm a huge Neptune stan, and I used to love how they would use these guitars that sounded so fake, but it still had a really cool texture to it. So that's kind of what I was going for here. So again, I'm just trying to have a call and response kind of conversation between the different sounds. And this part using the na 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 melody lines. Last but definitely not least is where it could all come crashing down, the drums. So for this pattern, I did another thing that I really like to do, which is to alternate between snares and claps on the 2 and the 4. Again, the theme for this track was keeping it very simple and to the point, and I didn't want to mess the beat up trying to do too much with the drums. But as a drummer, I still love for my drums to move. So I went and did some digging and found some cool like percussion loops and tweaked, pitch, slowed stuff down, moved stuff around, and came up with these parts that I really like. I love this part right here. And then I wanted to add one more element just to kind of fill in that higher frequency area on the percussion. To me, things like that are more like ear candy, where they just like, they sound good and you might not even really notice them, but when you take it away, something's missing. But yeah, so now that all the drums are done, combine everything together, and this is what we have. So again, for this track, the thing I wanted to emphasize was just simplicity and getting straight to the point and leaving room and leaving space for whoever's going to write to this. Not every single track or beat is meant to be written to or to have an artist on it. Sometimes as beat makers, we get to go off. But with this one, I wanted to make the beat that was going to be a canvas. And then once the artist or songwriter does their thing, as a producer, I would come back and finish the painting. So yeah, thank you for listening and for watching. My name is Will Jordan, and if you like what you heard, follow me on all platforms at Will Jordan Music, and like, comment, share with your friends, all that good stuff, and I'll be back with more. Thank you.